I am continuing my tier list series, and the first video in the tier list series was about Monsterverse, all the movies, no TV shows because I have not watched them yet. Here we have MCU Phase 1. I am going to be making a tier list of MCU Phase 1. So, this is what I am going to do. I will first cover Phase 1 in this video, then I'll pick Phase 2 in next video or maybe in future, then I'll be covering the Phase 3. Alright, the tier list all the phases, then I'll be covering the Infinity Saga. Right, this is exactly what I'm going to do. So, and then I'll move on to the phase 4. Anyways, we have MCU's phase 1, and phase 1 have 6 movies: Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America the First Avenger, Avengers, and the Incredible Hulk. Right, so I'll be covering all that. So let's start. And before that, know that you must know that this list that I am going to make is entirely based on how much I like the movie, how much the movie is rewatchable to me, and how much I think the movie is very well made in all the aspects of it, right? So this list may not match with the list that your personal list, but either ways I am going to make this list, and you can drop your list in the comments. Right, so let me begin, and I don't think it's going to be that hard because everyone going to agree with that. One thing is that Iron Man 1 is easy as, without any doubt. I don't think there is anyone who will disagree with this. I think Iron Man 1 is the easiest, not just one of the best comic book movies, but started off MCU with a bang. One of the best MCU movies actually. Up with, so there are some others, but right now I'm only talking about Phase 1. So one of the best. Indeed, also gave us Robert Downey Jr.'s iconic Iron Man, and it became like, yes, that guy was born to play this role, and he's also an incredible actor. We have seen he recently won the Academy for Oppenheimer, and he was brilliant in as Louis Strauss in Oppenheimer. So we know he's an overall talent, and he nailed Iron Man 1 with Jon Favreau directing this movie. They really cared about every single aspect of what makes Tony Stark Iron Man works. Also, the Iron Man 1 has some of the best visual effects overall. I mean, if you technically think about, one of the best looking Iron Man suit up comes from Iron Man 1. Best looking one of the, right? Overall, it's a great movie with that very iconic soundtrack that they didn't used in the second and the third movie. I think the first Iron Man movie soundtrack, the first flight of Iron Man, it's one of the very iconic. You know what I'm talking about. I don't remember the name of the guy who composed the soundtrack for it, but yeah, let's see. I don't know. His name is something Ramin Jawadi, something like that. I don't know what exactly the name is, but that was one of the very brilliant soundtrack. Anyways, that's Iron Man 1, easy as. Let's see. The next movie should be Iron Man 2. Now you see, Iron Man 1 is a brilliant movie. Is Iron Man 2 is great? Let's see where I'll put it. Maybe A, maybe B. I think I'll put it in B for now. You see, I like Iron Man 2. It's a good movie. And there is a very brilliant scene in the movie where, because in the entire movie, Tony Stark is like, my father never loved me and he never cared about me, and he was that type of personality. And Nick Fury tried to convince Iron Man, like, no, I knew your father. He was one of the founding member of Shield, and yeah, he cared about you. You don't know anything about your father, right? And then there is a brilliant scene where Iron Man is like fed up trying to figure out the problems because he is slowly dying with those things in art that that's there in his heart. I mean, the arc reactor, I don't clearly remember Iron Man 2. I watched it way before. Iron Man gets some kind of poisoning because of arc reactor, right? So he have not discovered the actual arc reactor yet. He do discover in Iron Man 2. He do discover that in Iron Man 2, right? So there is a brilliant scene where he sees on the projector his father trying to make some kind of video essay, but then he goes off, gave some brilliant, some brilliant things about uh, Tony Stark, which encouraged him, which also gave him an insight about that his father always loved him. It just he was that kind of personality who never showed it, but he did loved him, and that entire scene also gave him an idea about how to make an actual arc reactor, and that's how he did it. That one scene, actually one of my favorite scenes in the entire phase one of my favorite. There are a lot of best scenes, including Iron Man's first flight, but yes, that scene was very big, and that's why it's in B and not any lower. I don't think I'll put it in A. That's because there are other movies that's supposed to go in the A, and I think Captain America the First Avenger deserves that. Now, you see, when I first watched Captain America the First Avenger, I don't think I was very impressed by the movie, but as time passed on, the movie grew on me and I start to like it. I think it's a brilliant war movie if you think about it. It's more than a superhero movie, it's more of a war movie to me, which is clearly because the movie is set in the World War, right? And yeah, I think the whole aesthetics of the movie I never watched this movie, the first Avenger, as a superhero movie. That's why I saw it as a movie, a World War movie, but fictionalized, where this guy goes and saves everyone, like a 90s or 80s action movie, just with fancy suits. That's how I see the first Avenger, and I think it works brilliant. And Chris Evans, we all know he's like amazing. Let's get Thor. Where will I put Thor? Where should I put it? In B or A? I don't really know where should I put it. I think I should put it in A. I'm very confused between A and B because I think I like this movie, Thor. The first Thor movie, I think, is a very well made movie. But is it very rewatchable to me like Iron Man and the first Avenger? Uh, I don't think so. I think I'll put it in B. Oops. Yes. I think first Thor is like, out of all Thor movies, there are only two that stands out, and you know which one I'm talking about, and one of them is Thor with Anthony Hopkins. It was a brilliant movie, the first good introduction. I don't want to go on full synopsis about what happened in the movie. I'm just saying that I think it was a all right one. And I don't think B is that bad, because you see there is S, A, B, C, D, F. Anything that's B and above, they are good movies. They are not worst movies. So even though Iron Man 2 and Thor are in B, they are still good movies. They are not bad movies. Right? So remember that. So it's not like I didn't like Thor. I liked it. I think it was alright. Now we have the Incredible Hulk. Well, I think I'm gonna put it in B again. I was gonna put it in C initially just now, but now I have changed my mind. I think it should go in B. The only reason the Incredible Hulk is going to B is because Incredible Hulk is the only movie in the entire MCU that's about Hulk, but also the only movie that actually shows the powers of Hulk, like every single power of Hulk. Right? The thunderclap was first seen in The Incredible Hulk. The Incredible Hulk is one of the most aggressive Hulk in the MCU, I think. Apart from that Age of Ultron Hulk, Incredible Hulk is the most aggressive one. This is the type of Hulk we need in MCU, and seeing how the present MCU Hulk is, I think Incredible Hulk will easily be S compared to the present Hulk of MCU, but then again, we are just covering phase 1, so yes, I think B is good. I was gonna put it in C, so remember that I gave it a promotion and now it's in the B because I think we can. It's also like a fun movie, and we can watch it, enjoy it, have a good time. It's not a trash movie that like, oh, it's a bad movie, it was a waste of time and I didn't like it at all. I know, nah, I think it was all right movie. We can enjoy it anytime with family, alone, with friends, because you see, like I said, it's one of the very good portrayal of the Hulk and very underrated. I think Incredible Hulk is a very underrated movie out of all movies in the MCU. Right. Now we have the Avengers. And without any doubt, that's an S tier. I mean, what were you thinking? Where I'm gonna put Avengers, right? S tier is the only place for Avengers because it's the first crossover. This is actually the very first crossover movie ever, not just in MCU. Yes, not just in the MCU. Overall, it's one of the only movie that did crossover for the very first time and did it brilliantly. This movie excels at, and the fact that this movie was made by Josh Whedon, who also made Justice League, which is understandable because Justice League was originally directed by Zack Snyder. So Josh Whedon just took his clips, put it together, and shot some new scenes, and then made the movie out of it. It clearly wasn't his vision, which can clearly be seen in the movies, but Avengers was clearly his movies. The writers and he I think he also co-wrote it. It was his vision, and I think he did a brilliant job with it. The first Avenger movies, the first Iron Man and the first Avengers out of Phase One are the most rewatchable movies to me. I have watched Iron Man 1 and Avengers like I can't even count it on fingers. I have watched both movies so many times that I can't even count. And I like both of the movies. They are some of the brilliant. This was what MCU used to be back in the days. Now it's clearly a mess in some areas, but I think they can get their game up. But till then, this is the tier list for Phase 1 and Avengers easily S tier. Also, the theme of the Avengers very iconic, most recognizable theme. So and Avengers also open the door for all kind of universe. You see, because of Avengers, Conjuring universe exists, Monsterverse exists, the of course DC universe exists, which clearly didn't work, but now they are making DCU, right? I mean, every single universe that exists because of Avengers, because Avengers was done right. That's why it's in the S tier. So here it is, one of the easiest tier list ever. Like I said, it's not going to be very hard to create this tier list. This is MCU Phase 1, and just like Monsterverse, I gave the ratings out of 10 to every movie. I'm gonna rate all these movies out of 10 too. Iron Man 1 is 10 or 10. Avengers is clearly 10 or 10. No complaints. I don't think I'm gonna ask anything more from these movies. These movies give me exactly what I needed, right? And even actually exceeded the expectation when I first watched it. Captain America the Winter Soldier is easy 7 out of 10. Easily. Oh, sorry, not Winter Soldier, the first Avenger, yes. Iron Man 2 is 7 out of 10 to me. Yes, I placed it in B below the first Avengers, but I think 7 out of 10 is the perfect rating for Iron Man 2. All because of that one scene. Thor is also 7 out of 10. The Incredible Hulk, I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Now you see, the first Avenger, Iron Man 2 and Thor have similar rating, but in the tier list they are up down. Well, like I said, as an overall movie and how much you can enjoy it when watching it, yes, you can enjoy all three movies equally. But then how much rewatchable the movie is. Sometimes you enjoy certain movies but don't feel like rewatching it because they are not really rewatchable, but they are very enjoyable movies, right? Think about it. Like Schindler's List is one of the brilliant movie, but I don't think I'll rewatch it again and again and again because obvious reasons, right? The tone of the movie is a very dark movie in the similar ways. So the ratings may have been same for the first Avenger, Iron Man 2 and Thor, but on tier list they are little up down. But anything that's B and above, they are all good movies and you can always rewatch it. So this is my tier list. Thanks for watching, and in the next video I may be covering MCU phase 2, or maybe I'll covering Harry Potter or any other movie franchise. We'll see. But till then, subscribe to my channel, and thanks for watching.